Picture a tiny, fragile fleet. A handful of American escort carriers, they called them baby flat tops, and a few destroyers. Now picture the most powerful surface fleet the Imperial Japanese Navy could muster, for colossal battleships, including the Yamato, the largest ever built, 8 heavy cruisers, and 11 destroyers. This is not a fair fight. This is a massacre waiting to happen. And it is the opening scene of one of the most astonishing last stands in naval history. A battle fought not for victory, but for time. A battle where the question wasn't who would win, but who would dare to stand in the way. I'm Ibnul Jaif Farabi, and this is Flashpoints, the wars that shaped us. It's October 25th, 1944, off the island of Samar in the Philippines. The larger American fleet is elsewhere, drawn off by a Japanese decoy. Left behind to guard the landing beaches are just 3 small groups of escort carriers. Task Unit April 3rd, 77, call sign Taffy 3. These are not warships built for a line of battle. They're converted merchant hulls, slow, thin-skinned, carrying planes for ground support. Their screen is a few destroyers and even smaller destroyer escorts. They are, in the words of one historian, the naval equivalent of a shoebox full of kittens. At 6:58 a.m., lookouts spot the massive pagoda masts of Japanese battleships on the horizon. It's Admiral Kurida's center force. They've slipped through the strait undetected. For the Japanese, it's a dream scenario, a clear run to devastate the vulnerable American invasion fleet. For Taffy 3, it's a nightmare. The Japanese open fire. 18-inch shells, each the weight of a sedan, begin tearing through the air. The first salvos miss, but the geysers they throw up are tall enough to drench the flight decks. The American carriers, under the command of Rear Admiral Clifton Sprague, do the only thing they can. They turn and run, launching every plane they have, and they lay a smoke screen. A desperate, pathetic, beautiful smoke screen. But then, something extraordinary happens. The destroyers and destroyer escorts don't run. They turn toward the enemy. The USS Johnston, commanded by Lieutenant Commander Ernest Evans, a Cherokee Indian who told his crew, "This will be a fighting ship," leads the charge. With no armor to speak of, it steams directly into the teeth of the Japanese fleet. Its 5-inch guns are like pea shooters against a battleship's hide, but they fire anyway, aiming for the superstructures, for the eyes of the giants. They close to torpedo range, fire their spread, and score hits on a heavy cruiser. The Johnston is immediately pulverized by return fire, but it bought 10 precious minutes. Inspired, the other small ships follow. The USS Samuel B. Roberts, a destroyer escort, earns the nickname the destroyer escort that fought like a battleship, pressing so close its guns are firing at point-blank range. The pilots of Taffy 3, flying obsolete Wildcats and Avengers, join the fray with a suicidal fury. They make dry runs when they run out of bombs. They strafe with their machine guns. They pretend to crash to distract gunners. The sky is full of madness and valor. And it works. The Japanese admiral, Kurita, becomes convinced he's facing the main American fleet. The ferocity, the smoke, the relentless, chaotic attacks from all sides, it confuses him. He believes the destroyer's torpedoes have done more damage than they have, and he thinks the escort carriers are fast fleet carriers. After 2.5 hours of this unbelievable melee, he makes a decision that still baffles historians. He orders a retreat. He turns his invincible fleet around. The cost is horrific. 2 escort carriers, 2 destroyers, and the Samuel B. Roberts are sunk. Over 1,000 Americans die, including Evans on the bridge of the shattered Johnston. But they stopped them. They saved the landing beaches. They won by losing everything but their will. I think about that moment a lot. The moment when the Johnston turned into the salvo. It's a flashpoint defined not by grand strategy, but by human decision. A decision to stand, to fight a battle you know you cannot win, because the act of fighting itself changes the calculus. It's about creating a reality so fierce, so defiant, that it shatters the enemy's perception. In our own lives, we face imbalances of power, impossible odds. The lesson of Samar isn't about brute force. It's about the disruptive, world-altering power of sheer, unyielding spirit. It's about what happens when you decide that your purpose is not to win, but to stand. And in that standing, you sometimes find you've changed the course of everything. For Flashpoints, I'm Ibnul Jaif Farabi. This episode was produced by Leyte Studios. Find our archive and more stories that shaped our world at https://www.lightnotstudios.com.